Well, it looks like that the Fed don't want the market to settle down, and one more statement, and the market just started rolling on the downside. And this time, it was a major blow from Dow Jones rather than Nasdaq. Nasdaq down by 1.25%, whereas Dow Jones down by 1.72%, and an cumulative impact on S&P 500 with 1.53% down. Now, this is not at all a good sign because it does not matter. I'm talking about the reason. The reason does not matter. But once the trend breaks down, it is very hard to repair in a short term. So that's what one must recognize. Now, this is the price chart for Dow Jones. So let me zoom this chart. Now we are trading at the lower end of the range, and the range becomes narrower. Now I can't focus on the entire range which I have been explaining for the last 2 or 3 days. Now what I'm about to focus for today's trading session, here we are. So what I'm about to focus on today's trading session is this narrow range, which is in between 32,992 on the upside, which is going to be a resistance, and 32,575 on the downside, which is going to be our support or stop loss, because below which 32,500 downside will open up. So that's what we need to understand. So please be very aware about this narrow range. And right now, if you want to take trade, with a stop loss of 32,990 on the upside, you can go for 32,575 on the downside. So this is what we can see as far as Dow Jones is concerned. Talking about Nasdaq, although it has fallen less, but nonetheless it is fallen, and you can clearly see now. I would rather say stay away from Nasdaq, because Nasdaq enters into a range, the very narrow range, which is in between 11,500 and 11,550. So just skip the range, because it is very hard to decide where it wants to go. So if you just leave this narrow range, I mean 11,490 and 11,550, then it would be better. Just leave the range. The range is very narrow. If it falls below 11,490 and close below 11,490, you can definitely go short as far as Nasdaq is concerned. Whereas for any long trade, wait for the Nasdaq to settle above 11,550. So leave the range. Uh, Now talking about S&P 500, because S&P 500 unable to break above 4,100. So I have already talked about the resistance, and I've already said wait for the breakout above 4,100. Now it looks like the range which we are going to look at as far as S&P 500 is concerned will be in between. Here we are. So 4081 and 4100 is going to be a resistance, and on the downside we have 4944, or let's say, beg your pardon, 3944, or let's say 3940, which is going to be our support as well as stop loss, because below 3940 a downside will open up. So for today's trading session, either you go short with a very strict stop loss on the upside or a resistance on the upside, or you just need to wait so that things settles down, because the range is getting narrower for Dow Jones, for S&P 500, and for Nasdaq as well. So this is an indication of something big going forward. Whenever the range squeezed in rather than squeezed out, so obviously it is indicating a next big trend is about to happen. So rather wait for that. If you simply jump on to any trend, obviously it's not going to work well for you. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.